where the light went on that it's okay that I'm doing all these different things is in the practice of human-centered design. The more diverse the team, the more experience that the team can bring to the table, the more equipped they are to solve problems. You have to have a well-designed site visually, technically, speed, everything like that. That's number one, first tile. Second tile is site structure, right? Like, do we have the right real estate to fill in with the right content, right? If we don't have the right framework, we can't fill it in properly. Are we targeting the terms that people we want to meet with are searching for? Google and these other platforms care about what you have to say about yourself, your website, all that. They care even more about what others are saying about you. The younger version, there's a lot out there on social media talking about, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of hard, or everything, discomfort, all this kind of thing. I literally had a picture in my office that said that. I actually changed it to say, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of happiness. Mm-hmm. You've got to be happy first, and you can have everything you want after that.
Hello, and welcome to Living Your Legacy podcast. I'm your host, Greg Weimer, founder and CEO of Confluence Financial Partners, where our mission is to help people maximize their lives and shape their legacies. On this podcast, we will unpack the stories, strategies, and mindsets of individuals who are intentionally shaping their lives and the impact they leave behind. Learn what drives these individuals to push forward, to create, and to give back. Today, I'm privileged to have Bill Bishilany with me today.
Yes.
And Bill, I think the listeners are going to find your story and your expertise, I think they're going to find them equally interesting. Bill has a firm that is digital marketing.
Yep.
And by the way, to be fair, we've hired you to do our digital marketing, which we appreciate, and there's a lot to that. But Bill, I find your story fascinating. The fact that you go to Ohio State, you're in construction, and then next thing you know, you and I are sitting here talking about AI.
Yes.
So why don't you give a little bit about your background and how you went from construction to AI, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Yeah. If we go all the way back to the beginning, I was born into a family of entrepreneurs. I was the youngest of three. My dad owned a commercial glass company and found his way into development. So conversations around our dinner table were more, around ideas, events, more kind of, I'd call it like mature type topics. So go on, fast forward, graduate from Ohio State in construction management, wanted to get into development, happened to be in 2008. So, the job I had, it was a whole different world back then, but quickly had to figure out, another path. So that was a very, interesting time for me. Right. So I thought that at that time you had to know your path and you had to stick with it. And it's so not true now, right? In hindsight. And we'll get to it, but that's kind of why I call my company Mileage. So I ended up bouncing around between construction management, medical device. I did a technology startup of my own where I created a way for people to carry their coins on a card. At that point,
so wait, let's get back. So you entrepreneurial family.
Yes.
So your parents were okay with this, like bounce around a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
See, for most parents, they're like, okay, what do you want to do?
Yes. Pick.
For this parent, I probably would have a little bit more issue with that.
Yes.
But thank goodness you had this entrepreneurial family. It's like, okay, he's figuring it out.
Yes.
I think it's so interesting. We say to kids that are 18, like, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Yep.
And too much pressure.
Yep.
So, okay. So you're bouncing around 2008 construction, entrepreneurial.
Yes. So I land with this investment group where they would buy distressed franchise brands. And I thought to myself, this is where I need to be. Like, this is incredible. Like, I love business. So I spent the next 4.5 years with them. Some of the smartest turnaround people I had the chance to work with. That was my MBA, I call it, right? So I came on board, I think like two weeks after the acquisition. So I wasn't necessarily part of the deal making phase, but everything beyond that. And from there, it was just developing my way, my knowledge set, I'd say my biggest takeaway from there was really.
Did you learn more during that phase of your life or you did when you were at Ohio State? No,
absolutely.
At that phase.
At that phase.
Yeah.
At the business turnaround phase. Because like for me, I learn better by doing, right? So being out, kind of rolling our sleeves up, understanding what the numbers really, what was behind the numbers on an income statement for me. I could just work my way down and understand every lever I could pull. I don't think you can get that in a classroom.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're an engineer, maybe if you're, planning to be a physician, like it's some technical skill. But I think business, the best way to learn business is do business.
100%.
At least for me,
Yes.
I've learned so much more after school than during school.
Absolutely. I don't think I really became like an avid reader until post-college.
I think,
I hate to
yeah,
say
I'm
that.
trying. No, me too.
Yeah.
No, same.
Yep.
I think mine was like my senior year.
Okay.
And then I started just reading everything I could, but I'd be embarrassed to tell you how many books I read up to that point.
Me too.
Not very many.
Cover to cover. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no. And then I would
Yeah.
just digest as many as possible.
Yeah.
And you also is that the period of time, or that is when you worked for the human-centered design and strategy?
So that was more of a personal discovery of mine while I was working there.
Okay.
So
do you want to explain that?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, I don't know what I saw or what I read or what book I came across, but it was this whole topic of human-centered design. Never heard of it. What is this? Stanford has a whole school for it, Stanford D.school.
Yep.
I might have just stumbled on the book list and thought it was interesting because it really connects business and design. And when I was younger before that, I thought design was just visual.
Right.
We just make things look good. We make products look good. But there's so much that happens behind the product before a pencil hits the paper. So basically, human-centered design is centered around empathy, right? They're focused on solving at the point of frustration. So if you think about how that actually happens in real life, it's immersing yourself in a problem. It's surrounding yourself with the people that you are solving for, studying them, surveying them, interviewing them, and then comes the solution, right? So when I created the technology for putting coins on a card, I just thought it was a cool idea. I thought, oh, how cool would it be if you could put coins on a card? There was no human need at the core, truly, because coins were on the way out. So it just really shifted my whole way of thinking about this. So
what did coins? Am I missing something?
Yeah. So my
I still don't understand.
Yeah. So
some of it.
My thought was that loose change. I was trying to eliminate loose change.
Right.
I was young.
Yeah.
And so we created software at the point of sale that would round up a transaction and put it on a card that would just accumulate. So we were trying to effectively eliminate change.
Got it.
Yes.
Not all ideas work.
No, exactly. But I learned a lot along the way.
Yeah, I
yes,
got it.
exactly. So this whole human-centered design path, I ended up reading, back to our kind of book conversation, I read probably 14 out of the 16 or 12 out of the 14 books on the Stanford Design Reading School, because I wasn't going to go to Stanford, but I'm like, I'm going to get as close as I can.
Right.
So I read all of those, and now we're not a human-centered design firm by nature, but it's a part of everything we do. It's centered. Everything we design is around that. So when we decided to enter the financial space for digital marketing, I started thinking, like, how are people going to search different? What are they going to do when they get this new information? And then that's kind of what takes us down this path. So I think it's a really interesting topic.
We talked about this, but it's similar to our firm. Mm-hmm. I wake up every day thinking, okay, so how can I add massive value? If I were a client, how would I want to be served?
Mm-hmm.
How can I add massive value to our clients? Before all of our advisors, hopefully, walk into a meeting with a client, they're asking the question, how can I add massive value? Mm-hmm. And it's finding points of friction or frustration. Mm-hmm. So in our business, if you're just doing portfolio management, not that that's not really important because of AI, and we could go to that,
mm-hmm.
I think you're gone. Mm-hmm. You need to be more than that. You need to do planning. You need to do estate planning, tax planning, families. You need to know how to work with families. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of frustrations on this big wealth transfer. What firms can make that happen? And like every industry, there are dinosaurs that are still walking, that have not changed, mm-hmm. that they've retired and haven't announced. And you used to be able to get away with that. It is over with AI.
Yeah.
And so do you want to talk about how you're doing digital marketing and you're using your experience of the past,
Mm-hmm.
and now that your digital marketing is using AI, understanding human behavior?
Yeah. So I think
A lot there.
Yeah. No, great. So I think I got to go back for a second and say, truly, when I decided to leave and start Mileage, it was because I could see the value that digital created within a business. So I could see the value it created for these turnarounds that we were doing. And I said, you know what? I think I can go do that for others everywhere. So, and that kind of ties back to the whole idea of value creation, saying, listen, I don't consider us a creative agency. That's why when we talk to clients, it's like, what value can we create for you? And we're only talking about lead gen. You don't need to see how we go about everything else. So we really kind of center everything there.
Real simple.
Yep.
We want to help more people.
Yep.
We hire you.
Yep.
You bring us more people.
Exactly.
Most of our clients come through referrals, which we're very grateful for.
Yep.
But we really want to develop the lead generation through digital, and that's why we called you.
Yes.
Why? Mileage. I don't want to forget that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Tell me why the firm's that.
Yeah. So this whole where the light went on that it's okay that I'm doing all these different things is in the practice of human-centered design. The more diverse the team, the more experience that the team can bring to the table, the more equipped they are to solve problems. So I kind of flipped my whole thinking. This is, I think, something that the younger generation should really hear is it's okay to try more. Try everything before you pick. You're going to be better in the long run. So we think really with all of our diverse experiences, we can solve more problems more effectively. And that's why I called it Mileage.
Understand.
More experiences, more mileage.
Got it. I thought it may be because you said to me last week, you said, you want to be the firm that people call. You want to be the person that people call when you're going down the highway. I don't remember how many miles per hour.
Yeah.
Like 75 miles per hour.
Yes.
And your tire falls off.
Yes.
You want them to call you.
Yes.
You want to be, I didn't know if
no connection there. That's more just at the core, I'm a problem solver.
Yep.
That's I feel like.
All right. So let's go. By the way, I think for people that have relationships, empathy, understand, I believe that the world is changing way more rapidly than human behavior is. Humans are humans, fear, greed, it's all like whatever those things are. I think with AI, human relationships will be even more important. And the firms that figure out how to mix technology that supports you, but hold on to the human interaction, I think that's where success will be. Now, do you agree? Look at this space.
Yeah, well, I like to ask the question, how, right? Like I have young kids and I see them on so much technology.
Don't worry about that. We can talk about that.
We could talk about, like there's that whole element to it. I think the ones that can blend the two are going to be the winners.
Right.
If you want to look at it that,
I think everyone's trying to put AI in a box and you really can't. So people think of it in terms of, it's going to disrupt like the internet did. Is that fair?
I think it's bigger than that.
So do I.
I mean, if you really, we're 3 or 4 years in already, believe it or not, to when this all started. And when you start like thinking about all these applications and all these scenarios and what's possible, I think, yes, we can point to the internet because that connected everybody and it, changed a lot of things. But I think this is touching every industry, every person. I think it's bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I even used it 2 years ago. And I don't know that I did. Fast forward 24 months later, I don't think a day goes by that I don't use it.
I know.
And I've really enjoyed it more because a lot of the things, candidly, I'm not good at. It's doing for me. And it's freed me up to spend more time with people.
Yep.
Which is what I want to do.
Yep.
And not the other stuff. So, I think thinking it's just it's Google on steroids is a huge mistake.
I agree. I think when you start to kind of like grow beyond the Chat GPT of like what AI is, and you start seeing Claude and Claude Code and robotics, and you're like, oh wait, these large language models, that's what's going to power the robot. Oh, that makes sense because it now knows how we all think. Like you start piecing all of that. Like that wasn't possible before all these models.
Where did I just see, I don't know, again, somewhere I was reading, like you'll have a relationship with call it an avatar that is AI, which that is the Jetsons.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes.
And I also was listening that this for the first time ever, we are no longer the smartest species.
True.
Which is again, a huge change.
Yep.
And we can fear it, or we can embrace the fact that it's going to make you better at your job, us better at our job. God willing, it cures cancer, and it really will. Listen, the whole social media, we could go down that path. I'm on it. I worry what it does to our children. So there's risks of technology. We got to put some airbags around it.
Yeah.
But it's here to stay.
Yeah. I have two thoughts around the relationship part with AI. So OpenAI put out maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, how people are using ChatGPT. More than 55% of all prompts are classified as a thinking partner. So it's not just rewrite this for me. It's help me think through this.
Yes.
What can you tell me about this? Talk about a wonderful learning tool as well. That's one. Two, are you familiar with Johnny Ives?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So his legacy,
Yeah.
right? Like iconic industrial designer,
Yep.
very much human-centered designer. OpenAI acquired his firm.
Yep.
Did you see? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And they brought him over to reimagine computing, right? Where they were alluding to the fact that laptops are going to feel legacy. So what does that look like?
Right.
I mean, obviously it's top secret, no one knows,
Right.
but I'm fascinated. Now, if it's voice driven, I'm a little worried about that because I don't like when the computer first came out, my parents are typing like this and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy
Right.
when it comes to talking and interacting because I write to know what I think. So that's going to be a little evolution if it's voice driven, but
yeah. But to your
wild.
point on, when you talk about your parents, I don't know. I think you could not be up to speed on technology. And listen, for our listeners, we will never forget it's about the relationship we have with you. Everything we're doing is to add more value to that relationship that we find to be sacred. I think if our clients would understand what we're doing, I think they'll be very happy with how we're thinking through technology and enhancing outcomes. But man, you could be a dinosaur in 5 months. Right? I mean, so now we're blessed here. We have a bunch of 30 somethings that are like crazy, wicked, smart, and they keep me up to speed. But you can really become outdated quickly.
I mean, every day there's hundreds of advancements.
My son and I, who's the president of the firm, we were out in Dallas last week and spent time with experts in the industry about AI. And I'm telling you, I mean, the technology that we were looking at and hearing about, there's software now with the client's permission, obviously, that we can have a direct link to the IRS to get all the data on that client so we can do tax planning. And it's formatted and organized, and the recommendations we can make will be but you got to be quick. So we found out about that Thursday. We found out about it Thursday. We called the CEO on Friday, and we're demoing it today at 2:00. And if it's really as good as we think, we'll be helping clients within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That won't replace our relationship with the client, but it will make it more valuable.
So how long does something like that take today to do that, to gather all that information?
Well, I don't think you can gather all that information.
Okay.
So I don't think all that information can be gathered, but the information is incomplete as it may be, could take months. Well, let's do it differently. I'm looking at some gifting in my tax returns that I need to get my head around, that I'm not sure how it was done. And so far I'm on 6 months. with this new technology, it'll be a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
No more 2-hour.
Yeah.
We can help you. No more 2-hour calls with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're doing digital marketing, I was thinking about this morning, and you're using AI, how much do you know about who you're trying to market to? So does AI help you profile, for example?
Mm-hmm.
And how does it do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's touching every part of the business of a digital agency for us.
Do you want to explain just a little bit, get back, like, what is a digital? Like, I think,
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
want to, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So Mileage, other digital agencies, we focus on, at a high level, generating leads for our clients.
Right.
How we do that is through web design and development, paid advertising, search engine optimization, or just search now that everybody's calling it, email marketing, social media market.
Because last week they were like SEO is totally replaced by AEO, and
yes, it's all like everybody's trying to figure out how we're going to explain it all
Same,
now.
right.
But yeah, it's all search, So that's what Mileage does. Now, AI's impact on Mileage specifically, it's a growth lever for us because SEO is getting a little stale. Like everybody's competing over these 10 spots. And actually, I just saw an image yesterday on social of the 10 blue links, and it reminded me of Craigslist. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So I'm going to make a post. It just hit me last night, and I
Yeah.
saved it. I'm like, this is eerily similar to like Craigslist. So what is that going to look like in 10 years when all this, or 5 years when all this evolves? So, but for us, it's number one, it's a growth lever because how people are searching, so the behavior and the technology is evolving in parallel. I won't say at the same pace, but in parallel. So people are trying to understand, what do we need to do to be relevant? What do we need to do to be visible? How does this all work? Everything in there. So there's the whole growth component. The other part of it is engineering and coding. That's evolving in front of us. So do I think you're going to, at some point, get to where AI agents like Claude and this are writing 100% independently? I think it's going to go there. Like you're going to have obviously some sort of human in the loop at some point, but the basic stuff, yeah. I mean, it's all over the place in the media now that a lot of people aren't writing code anymore. There's that. There's the image creation part, which I think is scary. It's good for business part, but like it's also very eerie about where that's all going to go. For us, reporting, AI reporting, we're able to connect all of our reporting platforms using AI and let AI kind of interpret the results to kick out to us to then edit from there. So back to the time saving part. So it's really touching
like
every aspect.
So you're working with firms. So when someone goes to whatever, ChatGPT and says, by the way, it's imperfect today. I just preparing for this, I said, give me the top financial, whatever. I'm not even going to say the words I used because the words you use can change it, change your results. So I'm not going to say that because then someone will do it. And I don't want to speak negatively about any other firm. But I said, basically I wanted a list of financial advisors that they would recommend, financial advisor firms they would recommend in this region. And they gave me a list. Listen, AI, no AI, I've been in the business and in this market since the late 1980s. Most financial advisors at some point were my clients when I was working for a big mutual fund company. It's not the list. It's I don't know how they came up with that list. I'm going to tell you, it may have been artificial. It wasn't intelligence because, so how much of the AI becomes more about marketing than real credentials? By the way, I was wondering why we weren't on the list. And they said because we didn't subscribe to the Better Business Bureau, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah.
So
I can explain that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never really heard it put that way. It's artificial, but definitely not intelligent. That's great. Yeah. So the problem with that is trust is going up. Like people are trusting whatever comes out of there more and more every day. So I think that,
it used to be, I read it in black and white. Now it's like ChatGPT said,
right. It's like, it must be true. It must be accurate, So I think the biggest misconception, for business owners that don't do SEO every day. So I don't expect anybody to get this part, but like, it's not a static thing. And it's like a pushing match. I explain. So like you're trying to create content, show these platforms that you have experience, expertise, build the trust, and it's ongoing. And I think it just got even more serious, or the rate of that has gone up with AI.
Unbelievable.
So and nobody really knows yet like what the required frequency of content creation is yet, but you can definitely say it's going to be more. It's going to be a higher quantity at a higher frequency kind of thing. So how you solve for that whole, top 10 is with a structured strategy. And I don't know how far into that we want to go.
But some of that is marketing.
Yes.
To get on that list.
A lot of it. Yes. So here, let's talk about this.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as long as it's genuine.
Yeah.
Right. So we're just trying, I don't want to say we're influencing the platform, but we just wanted to understand Confluence properly.
For sure.
And there's a structured way to do that. So the way we see it is, I look at it as like a mosaic, right? And there's all these tiles that come together to make this mosaic. One of them is web design and development, right? You have to have a well-designed site visually, technically, speed, everything like that. That's number one, first tile. Second tile is site structure, right? Like, do we have the right real estate to fill in with the right content, right? If we don't have the right framework, we can't fill it in properly. Are we targeting the terms that people we want to meet with are searching for?
Yeah.
Do you have a thought?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I have thoughts, but go ahead.
Okay. So this is like the play,
Yeah.
So are we targeting the right terms? How do we do that? We do that through keyword research. What's the quantity? What's the market? So on and so forth. Then we get on to technical SEO, which is shot to the top because these platforms have gotten more and more intelligent. So I hear people saying like, oh, this meta description entitled isn't as important anymore. It's all important. It's all about signals. How many positive signals can we send to these search platforms to say, hey, Confluence is serious. They're a serious player. They're experienced. They're trustworthy, so on and so forth. So you have your technical SEO, schema, all that. Lastly, it's off page, right? It's trust signals. Google and these other platforms care about what you have to say about yourself, your website, all that. They care even more about what others are saying about you. Do others see Confluence as trustworthy? So how do we do that? It's getting article placements, it's reviews, it's your Better Business Bureau, making sure all these.
No offense.
I mean, no, but it's
just, I never thought of that.
Well,
it's urgent.
Yeah. It's how many signals can we send?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the mosaic that we see.
I just wish they could talk to our clients and everything would be okay.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to you talk about marketing, and I guess I just had this epiphany that, it's marketing, but so is a billboard.
Mm-hmm.
So is a commercial, right? So is a radio ad. They're all marketing also, trying to do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've just done it on turbocharge.
Mm-hmm.
Now AI has allowed you to be amazing and more efficient at what those things did, right? So it's like you've just turned the Flintstones into the Jetsons. No different than us. We still meet with families. We still have people maximize lives and legacy, but through a lot of the technology we have, we just come in way more prepared to help with better resources, more directed. And at the end of the day, that should lead to better outcomes over time. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to jump too far to conclusion, but it seems to me if people are doing marketing and not using someone like you that actually is using AI, Jetsons. I wish I could go back to the Flintstones in some way, but we're not, right?
Yeah,
we're not.
Yeah.
And same with us. I mean, we embrace technology. We still cherish the relationships. So I guess it's just making us both more effective at our jobs.
I agree.
Right?
I think it's a lot, and I think we're very alike here, it's for someone with a growth mindset, I feel like they're going to take AI and say, how can I be better? Or how can I help more people? Or how can I do it faster? I think they're going to embrace it.
Like you're gone.
I agree.
Like if you're just sitting in your office playing golf and hoping it doesn't happen, like the growth mindset's going to be more valuable than ever.
Yeah.
But rooted in it is how you started, right? With human behavior.
Yep.
I mean, human behavior still matters and that relationship matters. Absolutely. But so I guess I'm just thinking about it. I mean, I guess a billboard tries to have you believe something also. This is just...
I always say this too. Like, I think those are going to always still have their place, right? For awareness, but a true digital marketing play, I think, is the most manageable and measurable. And that's really what it gives us clarity into.
I love that. Because you know what? You folks in marketing, you're not measurable, and it makes us nuts.
I know, yeah.
It's like, can we have some KPIs?
Sure,
it's like, well, you could look at your website.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't like...
For us, so it's like, I want to be putting those on the table.
Yeah.
Because you'll never leave if
Right.
you're doing it right.
Results.
Do you know what I mean?
Results matter.
Correct.
Like just results.
Yes.
We could talk about all this stuff,
Yes.
but at the end of the day,
Yep.
whether you're, providing leads or serving families, results like matter.
Yes.
All right. So
Yep.
you've had an incredible career, but I do know there's other important things in your life that I think our listeners can benefit from, because you can have a successful career and still be a well-rounded human that has an impact beyond digital.
Yeah.
What are some things you care about?
Yeah. So for me, two things come to mind: faith and family, right? So there was a question we talked about early when we met of, what have you leaned on through difficult times? And I think having a strong faith has really allowed me to find meaning in a lot of the suffering that I've had to go through in my life, right? And I think that ties into happiness and joy. I think without that struggle, you can't have it, So that's kind of helped me bring it all together. But I think that kind of final chapter.
It's happiness, though.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. So for me, it's not a destination. It's more of a journey, right? Because I'm not happy every day. I'm not happy every moment, but I've learned that there are these different levers that you can pull, right? Recovery, satisfaction, right? So I think also in the time of AI, this is even more important, because I think to get true joy, it requires people and memories, right? Like there's other ways to get joy, but I don't think it lasts very long. Do you know what I mean? So that real, like with my kids, I'm, blessed enough to be a dad. My son, yesterday, we were at a wrestling tournament. We came back, he wanted to do origami, after the tournament. And this whole like intentional living and mindfulness has just allowed me to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll sit down and do origami, put my phone over here. I just help them fold, look at them. And you get a joy. It has a person, it's creating a memory, it produces joy. So this whole happiness, I kind of look at it like a practice, right? And I think we kind of talked about this before too, is the younger version. There's a lot out there on social media talking about, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of hard, or everything, of discomfort, all this kind of thing. I literally had a picture in my office that said that. I actually changed it to say, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of happiness. You've got to be happy first, and you can have everything you want after that.
The most important thing to success is your state of mind, which in my opinion creates your identity. And that can lead to happiness. It's interesting that you also mentioned, so I totally agree with you on happiness. You also mentioned recovery. And yesterday was a recovery day for me, just because it was a Sunday. And but by the way, I'll get AI in again. I'm like, okay, as the CEO of Confluence, what are 10 things I need to do this year to be a good leader in our organization? And they were all good, but one of them said recovery. It said, make sure you are spending time sharpening your saw, taking care of yourself, which I thought, it's interesting that even AI is saying recovery. The
machine is saying recovery.
The machine is saying take care of yourself, which I thought was interesting. But then you also said intentional living. You seem to me to be a person that's very intentional about what you do. And we've all been confronted with situations where we realize how quickly it could go. And having the moment with your child or your son and intentional living is really important.
Yeah. And I think kind of how I look at this chapter I'm in now is I'm currently raising someone's future best friend. So what do I look for in a best friend? And I now have the opportunity to influence that with my own kids. And it's actually something that a friend of mine and I have talked about, I'd say maybe for the last 4 years. And this is going to be the year where we actually outline the book, because it's kind of bring it all the way back to human-centered design.
Yeah.
You hear this all the time. Parents will say, there's no manual. Everybody's just kind of figuring it out. And the human-centered designer in myself says, well, why isn't there one?
Right.
So
Why not?
I'm going to create it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so it's a very fun and fulfilling chapter.
Yeah. So being intentional. So I heard over the last couple of days, I don't know what I was reading or listening to. They said, think about your last 7 days.
Mm.
And if you lived your life over the next decade, if you kept doing what you did in the last 7 days, would you be happy with where you ended up?
Mm.
And I think that's just a good litmus test for people to say, okay, what'd you do the last 7 days? If you keep doing that, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it can be
great.
It can be a moment. So I know you're someone that thinks about 10 years from now and your legacy. When you look back, what do you want your legacy to be?
That's so hard. I've literally, since we've talked about coming on here, I've tried to think about that.
Yeah.
And where my head went is, I feel like it's what other people say about you.
Okay.
So
your son in 30 years is being interviewed and they say, tell me about your dad. What do you want him to say?
He was one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met in my entire life. Intentional, deliberate, by design.
It's great. It's great. My guess is that's exactly what they'll say. So thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. This has been great.
Really, really enjoyed it, Bill. And, love that you've made great transitions in your life. Love that you've been able to, and my sense is there's more transitions to come. I just watch how you think.
Yeah.
But to be able to transition and do that from construction to AI. And so we look forward to working with you.
Same.
And really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.